Ain't never gonna sell my soul. I've already made up my mind. No matter what, I can't be bought or sold. And my faith is getting weak, and I feel like giving in. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, Definity, Devve, daCAT, SHIRO update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. This is going to be a 2.5 hour live. We got a lot of stuff going on. Let me go to my X account real quick, and I'll give a shout out to a couple of my cat homies, and I'll be like, hey, where are they? Oh God, I'm missing a cat homie. What's up, Shiro Nico community? What's up, the cats? And trying to get the cat whales. Come support the best cat meme ever. The best cat crypto ever. Okay. I guess first things first, VeVe margins increased 30% forever. Like, this isn't just on any one drop. This isn't just on any one thing that says, hey, for this drop and this drop alone. Like, let's say if we were going to do like a charity thing for, I don't know, like LGBTQ, right? And Tim Cook is like, yeah, all right, yeah, that's on my brand. Yeah, I'll waive, the Apple fees for that. It is not just any one thing and a one-time only. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. This is forever. If this would have taken place 3 years ago, VeVe would have made an additional $130 million. So I just want to throw that out there, that this is not something that is just like, oh yeah, what's 30% of another, $10,000? Yeah, you get a couple grand. No, like, this is forever and always. Unless David or Dan, for whatever reason, or I guess Ben now as well, would decide like, yeah, we're gonna keep this 30% tax on ourselves, which would be lunacy. It would never happen. This is the game changer. So let's go to the actual article here. There's so much to go over today. It is from Altcoin Buzz, saying Apple's 30% cut is dead. Big win for crypto apps. A major court ruling has just flipped the script on one of big tech's most hotly contested policies. The U.S. Federal Court of Appeals has ruled that Apple can no longer block developers from linking to external payment systems. This decision applies to all apps on Apple's platform. This means that no more 30% Apple tax on in-app purchases. For the crypto industry, this opens a new door to new era of freedom, profits, and direct engagement. Apple's 30% cut is gone. Crypto apps can now sell freely. For years, Apple has required apps in its ecosystem to use its own payment system, taking a 30% cut on everything from digital subscriptions to in-game purchases. This policy has also limited the ability for crypto apps to let users buy NFTs or tokens directly. That's over now. Apps can finally link to the outside checkout pages without restrictions and without giving Apple a dime. This decision doesn't just level the playing field, it reshapes it. For crypto apps, especially those selling NFTs or offering tokenized services, Apple's old rules were a major roadblock. Developers either avoided the App Store altogether or passed on the 30% fee to the healthy consumer, as you guys, inflating prices and killing the user experience. You have Tim Sweeney that says no fees on web transactions, game over for the Apple tax. Apple's 15 to 30% junk fees are now just as dead here in the United States of America as they are in Europe under the Digital Markets Act. Unlawful here, unlawful there. It's been a battle of 4 years, 4 months, and 17 days. Tim Sweeney, and again, he's the CEO of Epic, saying Northern District California Court has ruled the Epic versus Apple anti-steering injunctions contempt of court proceeding. Details incoming. Now, apps like Coinbase Wallet, Magic Eden, or even smaller Web3 games can enable direct sales of NFTs and other digital assets through external websites. That means no more backdoor workarounds or waiting on platform approvals. For example, NFT marketplace Magic Eden previously had to strip core features from its iOS app to comply with Apple's rules. With the ruling, it could restore full functionality and sell assets directly, instantly improving monetization and UX. More about crypto apps? We don't need to know more about crypto apps. That's fine. But that's one of the hugest things for VeVe ever. assuming they already had 30% margins, this brings them up to 60. What do you think you could do? And this is with IP that they have to share with. Like this is not with any of their native own IP. If they do have any of their native own IP, like the VeVe logos, like that's straight up theirs. They don't have to share with anyone. They did have to share 30% of those sales with Apple, but now they don't. And holy crap, guys. And the strange thing is, you have something that directly increases VeVe's margins, their bottom line, by 30%, and the token's down 3.5%. Whoever's selling after that news has got to be legally, mentally retarded, because holy shit, that is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Kuma saying, first this time, you are first. You are. Omar Kasaj says, good evening. How's it going? Cordial Goat Slayer says, happy Friday, Chavez Cat. Let's get this bread. I love this game. Maybe Zombie says, yo, what up? Zafacer say, go, go, go. Why, thank you. Thank you, senor. So yeah, being down 3% to 000195. We actually were down 00019296. So it is slightly up since the bottom of the day. 1.7 million in volume. Like, I completely understand if you be like, hey, you know what, you threw like $5,000 into this, X amount of months or years ago, whatever, it's worth a couple $100 now, and you're like, hey, and you never kept up with the news, and you're just like, yeah, I have this thing with digital collectibles. I don't think it's going to do anything. It's kind of out of the narrative. And again, if you didn't keep up with it and you're like, you know what, I need an extra couple $100 or something, and then you're like, fine. But if you keep your finger on the pulse at all, and you sold today, that is the most ridiculous move. And again, I'll say this, like a month ago, I was telling a friend that the price could be cut in half from about 0.0021, so around here. And then he took that risk and he's like, all right, I'm going to get 600 million OMI. It's 602 million now. He had 20 million at the time, but and could that still happen? At the time, in late March, early April, it was like you had these, like, we're in the middle of this tariff war, this trade war, and everything was going down. Like Kelsey Ballerini, you're going down, I'm going down too. Everything in their sister was going down, and yeah, it didn't look good. It could have lasted for months, and then over the last couple of weeks, you have all of these companies going over and saying, nope, we're going to make deals with the U.S. You had a little bit of a fight with China, trying to say like, yeah, we're going to stand strong and we're going to retaliate against Trump. And if you see all of these TikToks of all of these shops that are in China that are just closed up because the U.S. isn't buying anymore, it's really sad. It's really horrible. Because those people didn't do anything. It's the government. Anyway, it's just, you had that fight over there, and then TikTok, like the Chinese government is like, hey, we're going to relax a couple of rules on things. You could sell directly to the US, make TikToks about it, and they did. And then some of the people like, yeah, we can now just buy directly from these companies. We could bypass these things. And that worked for maybe a day or two, and it hasn't anymore. They're done. There's a bunch of other stuff I'll go over with that as well. But now that it seems to be that, okay, the US and Ukraine have this mineral deal done, and they have a little bit of fight left with for whatever reason, they want to tell ethnic Russians in Crimea that want to be part of Russia and annexed by Russia. They're like, no, you're going to belong with us, like against their will. So there is still a little bit of that fight with the war in Russia and Ukraine, and that might go on for a while longer. But you have all of these countries coming for a trade deal. And this is when Bitcoin was on the downtrend, going from losing like 30%, going like 108 down to like 74. But now it's been on a crazy uptrend. It reached 97.9 today, and the macro is just looking good. There's a ton of liquidity there. There's a ton of other countries buying. There's countries, there's states, there's cities, there's all of this stuff that's just buying Bitcoin. You have your Michael Saylors, and like the time for fear is kind of over. Like obviously Trump is winning in these trade wars and this tariff wars. He's not going to get any credit from like the left on it, or even some of the middle, but um, like he did it, he won. And if that same person were to ask me today, hey Chavez, do you still think the price in OMI can get cut in half? I'd say the odds now are a lot less, and the odds of OMI doubling versus getting cut in half, it's probably greater on the former. Like it's probably greater for it to double than it is to get cut in half at this point, just because of the fact that that's the way the market is going. Now, just because alt season seems to be right around the corner, does that mean that OMI's going to moon as soon as alt season starts? No. And yeah, there's going to be some negative pressure on the token as some of the last token holders, they're like, VeVe missed it. They're not on exchanges. They're not doing this. Like, despite all of the amazing things they've done, like launching VeVeverse, again, this 30% is probably bigger than all of them because, oh my God, that is straight to their bottom line. I cannot get over that. I'll actually probably buy a little bit more OMI if it goes down anymore. And when you take a look at just the foundation they've built, the stuff that they continue to sell out, the amount of, and again, if they had said, hey, we're not going to hire any more workers, but then they just posted on their current openings a campaign manager for comics and now another technical artist, they're still clearly growing. So yeah, I would say the bottom is likely in, and the odds of us getting cut in half or even going down by another 40% at this point is probably pretty low. I'm not saying that it can't happen. Anything can happen. It's crypto. Because again, you'll have the people that, as the altcoin season takes off, they're going to see this one thing, whether it's in AI or in gaming, whatever it is. They'll be like, oh man, this is going up. This just went 5x last week. We got to put it in, and this thing just went 10x. We got to put it in, and they'll take it out of Economy, sure. And then you have Bit4X, which I think they have like 13 billion left. I don't know what they're doing with that OMI, but yeah, if you have some of that, all these things combined, you could get another hit on OMI. Sure, could go way down, but again, the business is just absolutely thriving. So I am. If there was any doubt in anyone's mind that like the VeVe company was like done for, like that's completely shattered now. Again, adding an extra 30% profit margin on every single one of their products that they release. Now, obviously, they didn't have to share those profits with VeVe Comics or anything like with Fish that happens outside of the app, because you do one thing over there and then you redeem, that's fine. But yeah, this is probably one of the biggest news I think for VeVe that we've ever had. Does it affect cash out? Listen, and I promise I'll go over the rest of the stuff here shortly. The opportunity to lower the cash out fees were on the table. They told us about this like 2 years ago. We're like, hey, we have app.vv.me now, our website. If you go and buy gems through the app.vv.me, we don't have to pay that 30%. And if everybody does that, we don't need to have 10% cash out fees. And like 90% of y'all still buy gems on the app. So I mean that is our own fault. That is 100% our own fault. That those cash out fees could not be lowered. Could they be lowered now? Sure, they could. Will they? I mean, we as a community collectively could not be bothered to take the extra couple minutes to go to app.vv.me and buy gems there, as opposed to buying them in the app. So I would not hold them to it. I would not, like, I'm not even going to ask. That is, and I know I'm going to rustle a lot of jimmies with that there, but I don't think they have to. If they wanted to be super nice and say like, hey, you know what, we'll lower them by a little bit now. they absolutely can, and I think they would. They don't have to. They would probably win over. The sentiment for that would turn around in a big way. Even making them going from like 10% to 8%. That's probably something that if they do it, they're still getting the 8% cash out fee to counteract that 30% from Apple. But that turns sentiment around, and maybe they do it just on gems that were done after a certain date, whatever. But that's if they do it at all, which again they don't have to. If they're deciding to be super nice, they could, but that again, that's a question for the team. I'm just throwing all options out there. Okay, let's go over some Devve real quick. Devve had a little bit. Devve's been having a rough couple of days here. Over the last 7 days, they've been down about actually only 5%. But they were up they were up to, well, like a month ago, they were at 90 something cents. They were up to like 79, 80 cents recently. And then down, had gone down to about 67, up to 69 cents now. Everyone comment nice down below for the 69. What's up, everybody? The Baker says, money, getting that bread hard, going super hard. Chago says, great news for VeVe, agreed 100,000%. What's up, Connor? How's it going? Dr. Shiko, I just saw you in the daCAT, one of the daCAT telegrams. So shout out to you for going in and deciding to honor everybody and honor all cat tokens out there. Oh God, shout out to CryptoLo saying daCAT always showing up where the real energy is. I'll give him a meow. Give him a meow for that. And I want to get back to the Devve here real quick, but I just had a bunch of people. The Baker says 30% increase in pure profits. I'll say preach. Yeah, there's a lot of people getting super pumped on this. And what I think this could do, I don't know how much percentage of VeVe that VeVe takes from everything. I would say they probably take 60 to 80% of the drops, because if they do that, the artist or the licensor or the IP, whatever, they get nice 20%, 30%, but 30% had to go to Apple, and then another 30%, and figure if the margins are 30%, and that those margins are used to give, like, pay their people and whatever. So if 30, 20, if they took 50% of it and the margins are 30, it's not a lot. So I'd hope that they would get, like, out of what's left, 70% that's left, I'd hope they take 50 and then give the licensor like 20, 30, but now, God, now that I'd love to see them do like a 60-40 split. But again, we'll see. I haven't really gone over what the things are. I don't even think I'd be able to let you guys know with the daCAT comic. Like, I'm estimating we would have gotten maybe 20 to 30%. Now maybe we can get like 30 to 40, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know how generous they're going to be with that. But we'll see. Abe says, number one. The Flamingo says, do you see the Kraken exchange told a North Korean spy? That is amazing. I did not. Send me that link. I would love to read it. I would love to go over that. What's up, Mr. MC1? How's it going? Meow. We love you, Mr. MC1. All right, going back to, oh God, there's so many comments. Crypto Los replied 100%. Very good. I don't need to be on there right meow. Okay, good. Let's take a look at, all right, for Devve. Damn, Devve had 298,000 in volume. That is not good at all. I had a buddy of mine ask me today, like, hey, what do you think the reason is for Devve not announcing their partner? Like, a lot of people were expecting it in Q1, and now we're, kind of well into Q2, and they still haven't announced their partner yet. When do you think that the exchange is going to happen? Well, the exchange is going to roll out, they say, in second half of the year. But I'm going to be realistic, guys. I don't think it's going to happen until Q4. If the exchange were to be rolled out in Q3, at least in early Q3, they probably would have gone on and announced who their partner was, but they haven't yet. So either it rolls out in late Q3, but if we don't have them, if we don't have Devve announce who their partner is by the end of Q2, it's not going to roll out in Q3. I'd say Q4, and obviously in tech, a lot of stuff gets delayed. So maybe you go and see it in even Q1 of next year. Granted, they have 25,000 signups already, and that is 2 days old news. So it's probably like 25,500, 26,000 by now, which is nuts. The amount of Devve tokens that are going to be needed for that is going to be insane. So even without the announcement of who their partner is, I'd say it gets to $1 by summer. Figure 6 weeks, 7 weeks, June 21st. That would be my guesstimate. Hate that word. That would be my estimate. When they announce who their partner is, I would, depending on what the price is before then, like an instant 3 to 5x. And then once they go in, and that could be conservative. It could not be. Maybe it just goes up by 80% or doubles, whatever. But I'd say 3 to 5x within 2 weeks after that. And then what happens when they actually roll out? Got at a zero. Unless it's already like $20 by that time, then I would not add a zero. Then I would be like, okay, maybe you do like another doubling or tripling, but it'll double, get it to like $1.40. It'll triple, get it to $5.20. Actually, that's $4.20. Blaze it, and then it'll double and triple again. That brings it to like $25, and that's super conservative in my opinion. I think it'll be a lot more than that. All right, let's keep going here. Let's go to Definity. Definity is actually up a little bit today, 5.5% to 2.7 cents, with 1,800 in volume. They are also, I can't say it. They're also going to be doing something pretty soon before the end of the quarter, and then you might, again, before the end of the quarter, they'll be doing a little something, and you might hear about it. There might be a press release, there might not. There'll be a press release probably, but I'll let you know. And the volume, again, they're what's added to their P&L every single month is more than what VeVe grosses. And Definity is a $4.1 million market cap, 4.6 million fully diluted. I'll say that again. What Definity adds to their P&L every month is more than what VeVe grosses every month. And they are a fraction of the size. Fraction. All right, let's go to SHIRO. Because SHIRO's up about 1.3% on the day, and they have 2.2 million in volume, almost 2.3 at $15.2 million market cap. In the past, like week or so, they have been actually at just under 15. At a $20 million market cap, they will burn 2% of the entire supply. That would be 400,000 doll hairs that they would be burning. And they had a thing recently that just said, their post said, when you should be watching the chart, but SHIRO keeps pumping anyway, so you can spend Friday with some snacks and relax. They have a pretty cool thing. So I wanted them as like a crossover in the daCAT comic, and they're going to go their own way by releasing. But they're going to try to release a SHIRO comic on VeVe like their own. They already have a comic, and it's good. Well, I should say this. I like cats. I love animals in general, and I like little white cat. I like any type of cat. They're awesome. But it was like 10 pages, and again, I was like, oh, what is this cat? Oh, what is this person doing? Oh, what are they doing together? This cat, like, it was a fun read. I genuinely, I just had a good time reading it. It was cute. I don't know if it'll be everybody's flavor or brand, but again, I enjoyed it. I will 100% buy it when it comes out. But again, it was 10 pages, so I was like, okay, probably going to have to add a couple of things in there, do whatever, change it a bit, because I don't think anyone's going to pay. I think the Death Planet Zero was like 17 pages, and that was written by the guy that created John Wick, and it was $5 for the NFT. So I don't think you could justify charging $5 for 10 pages. I don't think that no one's ever heard of, and it doesn't really matter because that would have, and I told the guy this, like, it doesn't have to be like Shakespeare. It doesn't have to be like the greatest story ever told. If you just put something out there and it sells out, you'll get on VeVe's radar. You'll get their attention. Now, if it's a genuinely good comic, which again, this thing is freaking adorable. Like, look at this thing, and that's just one version of it. If it's a genuinely good comic, you'll have other people pick it up. For daCAT, I have started writing the third one. I will be done with it before the end of June. So before the end of June, I will have finished the third comic. The first one, again, 45 pages is a lot. So the artist is sweating trying to get it done. And that, I'm not going to lie, that's going to take months. I think in the next month or so, or as one of my stuff goes up, I'm just going to pay for like 2 other artists, be like, okay, you're going to do pages, like 35 through 45. You're going to do pages 25 to 35, and then the first artist is just, because I don't want to have to wait like 8 months for this to come out. So I want this done at some point during summer, and again by the end of June, maybe even by June 21st, maybe by that summer solstice, I'll go in and have the third daCAT comic done. I do want it to be 35 pages max, because again, the first one's 45, the second one is 53 pages, and it's not just like, hey, here's like 6 lines of dialogue and then like 6 panels that just, no, it's heavy on the dialogue. It's a freaking fantastic story. And also something about daCAT having a little buy party soon where they're going to anyway, $10 for the first 2 comics, $10 each, and then the second comic I'd want to do around like 7, maybe 8. But if I can get it lower, if I can get it to like 30 pages or 25 pages, heck, 25 pages, I'll do $5 for the comic. Won't make much for it, but again, all of this stuff. I just posted a video yesterday saying how everyone, especially SHIRO and daCAT, is going to make everyone want to go on VeVe, whether they want to be associated with NFTs or not, just because it gets eyes on their project. Apple approved crypto for in-app. I mean, they have no choice. Everything's going to be, so crypto will be available. I'm not going to say crypto will be available in VeVe right away, because again, you have Stacker for that, but just right now, I'm just taking away that 30%. Cool Mo, thanks for being a member, says Zombie Yo. Echo712, I earn Google Play points when I buy in-app. Google Play points equals free collectibles. That's true. It's true. I have redeemed many of those myself over the years. You go in there, you get free Google Play points, you get free gems. I understand. ADRESS, what possibilities will the Apple News create with OMI in VeVe app or merge Stacker function? I mean, there's a bunch of options that could happen. You'd have to ask Dr. Profit. I would love to get him on, and I know he's super busy, because Stacker is like one of the things that he does. He has a bunch of things that he does. I would, and maybe I could just get one of his boys on, one of his guys on, or heck, even like, so we're gonna have our 1-year anniversary of the OMI is My Homie show on Tuesday. Maybe get Foster on it. Let me see if he would be available. Even I'll shoot him a message right now. Where's the best place to contact my main man, my bae? Yeah. On Tuesday, it'll be the, it'll be the 1 year anniversary of the OMI. It is my homie YouTube show. Any chance you might be able to come on for a bit? Yeah. Or pass it to Dr. Profit, whatever. There's a lot that they could do. How much of it is going to be worth it? I don't know. We'll see. Because I mean, you want it to be worth it. I don't know how long it would take these things to be built, but I would say they're probably already thinking on it. Will Google follow suit? One of OMI's benefits is its lower cash out fee, so I'd rather VeVe keep a higher gem cash out fee and push OMI. Well, I mean, they'll still always have a higher cash out fee than it would be for OMI, so you'll still be incentivized to do that. We don't even know if VeVe will lower their cash out fee at all. Even if they do, it might be like 1 or 2%. I don't think it's going to be like a huge, like they're not going to get rid of it. Yeah, they won't get rid of it, but if it does, it'll be a low enough percent to help make people happy, but it'll still be high enough that people will be incentivized to use OMI, which is good. Okay, let's take a be advised, Wes likes to troll. Wes often does not know what he's talking about, but he just likes to have a good time and troll people. So just don't take him seriously. But thank you for being a member. All right. Anyway, let's continue on. Actually, let's get to the news here because there's a lot to go over, and we have to go from yesterday. Oh my gosh. Okay. ETH dominance has fully retested 2019 bottom. I think I went over. Yeah, I went over that. $1.3 trillion asset manager Morgan Stanley to offer crypto trading to E-Trade clients, which is awesome. Bounty claimed from Comics and Crypto. They've claimed a $2,000 bounty on the X-Men #2, mint number 1963. It's their publishing year. Shout out to them. Saying meow. Ecolilia. There's a new statue of Satoshi Nakamoto that was just revealed in Fornelli, Italy. It looks pretty heckin' awesome. I thoroughly enjoy that. Devve says there's a growing demand for traditional finance institutions to offer DeFi products. That demand is being answered through our unique fusion of TradFi and DeFi. Don't just take our word for it. Paul Bureau from our banking partner, DeLubac, explains it. Go over from yesterday's Devve Exchange post and watch Ray Quintana talk about it. Hysterical. Josh Mandel, not former Ohio State treasurer, not former Ohio Senate hopeful Josh Mandel, but a different Josh Mandel that predicted Bitcoin get to like 80,000 on like the exact day. Like, dude is like from the future. I had said that Michael Saylor is going to be just like a Bitcoin god, or he's going to cash out at some point, leaving everyone holding the bag. And then you have this guy named The Prophet or Sightbringer saying, your logic is sharp, but the mechanics around MNAV, short arbs, and hedge fund reflexivity are all structurally sound, but you're still playing on the accounting layer. Saylor's game isn't about capital efficiency, it's about belief ignition. MSTR doesn't function like a closed-end fund, it functions like a mimetic amplifier for Bitcoin itself. The premium isn't a bug, it's the market's subconscious way of assigning mythic value to Saylor's conviction. It's a bet that he'll never flinch. If he refuses to defend MNAV equals 1, it signals one thing. He doesn't believe his own reflection, and the whole illusion collapses. MSTR becomes GBTC 2.0. But if he doesn't defend the floor, even irrationally, it becomes an unshortable monolith, a belief proxy too sacred to bet against. And that's the point. He's not running a company. He's running a myth protocol masquerading as a ticker. This won't end in an earnings report. It ends in either religious scale conviction or structural abandonment, because this isn't about shares. It's about signal. And once the signal fractures, nothing will redeem it. But if the signal holds, the upside isn't 20+%. Biblical. What happens when we're at 8:34 here? Yeah, it's been about 2 hours since I had a meal. So I'm going to break out the egg whites. Cheers, mates. Okay, where was I? President Trump says that Treasury Secretary Brissent is negotiating new trade deals with 200 countries. Heckin' wild. Just in, President Trump says any countries that buy oil from Iran cannot do business with the U.S. Jesus. Iran's going to get hecked. This is from Very Keen. Oh, can't go over that. Dr. Prophet says, on Monday, we launched our Stacker marketplace with VeVe on base. Our wallet is powered by awesomeprivy.io. You can buy here digital 3D collectibles from your beloved IPs. Read the announcement there. I don't know why he decided to post about it days after they launched, but whatever. Ben Zinga says, White House says gold reserves may be used to purchase Bitcoin. This is something we've all pontificated on before. Ash Crypto Real says, you are not bullish enough for 2025. Gold is at 21.6 trillion and Bitcoin is at 2 trillion. What they would, I guess the US still has the value of gold as like $43 an ounce. So when they go in and actually make it the correct amount, they would just be able to take some of that value, like some of that gold, sell, and it's at no cost to the taxpayer, and buy a bunch of Bitcoin with it. That may or may not be how they go in and buy, do the $1 million Bitcoin or the $1 million Bitcoin buy that Senator Lummis. We'll go over that later. Looks like, so West the other day, where is he? Where'd he go? West the other day had posted in the Devve official Telegram saying it looks like Cubic is now the world's fastest blockchain. What say you? And you have Tom Anderson saying our main selling point 8 years ago was scale as large as is ever needed. There is no scale larger than what we can accomplish. So at best, one can tie with us. Since then, we have added a lot of functionality to our approach across categories, and our main advantages are all the other things we do: architectural flexibility, cost effectiveness, instantaneous settlement, theft protection, loss protection, bailment solutions, privacy, etc., etc. You have this guy named Kreelik saying, hey, Tom, I was wondering about providing Devve to Liquidity Cash and how it will work. Say I would like to contribute my Devve to Liquidity Cash for it to be utilized as an intermediary token, therefore earning me a portion of transaction fee. Though as I provide Devve, there is no impermanent loss. As people will be buying Devve, can the Devve in the Liquidity Cash go down? Therefore, I will have less Devve if I want to withdraw. How can I be affected by fluctuations of amount of Devve in the Liquidity Cash? Thank you in advance. Tom says, liquidity caches work in coordination with the exchange to rebalance both payment mechanism and the market making, which can be used to avoid impermanent loss. Also, the liquidity C concept can be used to balance as needed. The how many accounts? Yeah, that is nuts. That we're up to 25,000 accounts. Morgan Stanley plans to offer crypto trading to E-Trade clients. Bitcoin 7-day volatility hits a 563-day low. Charles Schwab CEO says working on spot crypto trading within 12 months. And Tether is approaching 120 billion in U.S. Treasuries, confirms quarterly operating profit over $1 billion in Q1 of 2025. Europe says they are preparing a $50 billion trade offer for President Trump. Can't wait to see what that is. #winning. Chris Severs, aka Market Smart, says another VeVe official digital comic collectible set complete with the addition of these two stunning Nicolette Baldar exclusive to VeVe cover variants. Enter the Phoenix, got the ultra rare and the rare. Dude is a mad lad. And obviously has the entire set. Good for him. Ash Crypto Real says global money is surging. Bitcoin will follow next. And again, it's like 3% away from being 100K again. So we'll see how it goes. Eric Trump's World Liberty Financial stablecoin USD1 will be used in MGX's $2 billion investment in Binance. They're going to be so freaking rich. North Carolina Senate passes bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Shout out to North Carolina. And Michael Saylor's strategy is going to raise $84 billion to purchase more Bitcoin. God damn. Or I guess they're going to offer up to 21 billion in a Class A stock via ATM sales agreement. So we actually have an article on this that we can read here. Oh my gosh. I swear we should be able to. I'm tripping over here. There we go. Strategy announces first quarter 2025 financial results. Oh, this is, yeah, pretty sweet. 13.7 Bitcoin yield achieved in 2025 year to date. 61,497 Bitcoin gain achieved in 2025 year to date. 5.8 billion Bitcoin $ gain achieved in 2025. 553,555 Bitcoin holdings at a total cost of 37.9 billion or 68,459 per Bitcoin. So close to 69. This was as of 28 April 2025. And they announced a new 21 billion at the market common stock equity offering, increasing 2025 Bitcoin yield target from 15% to 25%, and increasing 2025 Bitcoin gain target from 10 billion to 15 billion. Tyson's Corner, May 1st, MicroStrategy Incorporated, the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin and the world's first Bitcoin treasury company, today announced financial results for the 3-month period ending 31 March 2025. We successfully executed our record 21 billion common stock ATM, adding 301,335 Bitcoin to our balance sheet while simultaneously achieving a 50% increase in MSTR share price during the same period. In Q1, we also broadened our capital base with 2 of the most successful preferred stock IPOs in a decade. Capital market strategy continued to grow our Bitcoin holdings while delivering superior shareholder value. With over 70 public companies worldwide now adopting a Bitcoin treasury standard, we are proud to be at the forefront in pioneering of this space, said Fang Li, President and Chief Executive Officer. We're thrilled to report a strong start to the year with a year-to-date Bitcoin yield of 13.7%, achieving over 90% of our 2025 target in just the first 4 months. God damn. Our year-to-date Bitcoin gain of 5.8 billion also meets 58% of our annual target, demonstrating the effectiveness of our Bitcoin strategy. With the strong momentum in the market and our successful execution of our treasury operation thus far this year, we're increasing our 2025 Bitcoin yield target to 25% and our 2025 Bitcoin gain target to 15 billion. Also in Q1, we adopted the long-awaited fair value accounting for our Bitcoin holdings, which resulted in a significant $12.7 billion uplift in the beginning balance of retained earnings. And despite recognizing an unrealized loss in Q1 due to a quarter-end Bitcoin price of 82,445, the current approximate $97,000 Bitcoin price would imply a fair value gain of roughly $8 billion thus far in Q2, said Andrew Kang, Chief Financial Officer. We can go over this all day, but it's mostly more of the same, and it would take me about, what's that line from Kyle XY? It would take her about 52 years to finish. Where was I? Cool Mo says, I kind of feel like these drops in May could be setting up the Disney-verse. Lots of Star. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to think of when it comes to the VeVe-verse. Yeah. Should we go over that? Yeah, let's take a look. Collecting the Stormtrooper helmet. They have a couple of helmets that they're going to do. The anatomy of the Stormtrooper helmet. Looking at this thing in the VeVe-verse is going to be awesome. They have Baby Grogu already in there in his little pod. They have they have Mandalorian. Obviously, they have Mandalorian in a couple of different armors. You can collect an army of Stormtroopers and have a clone army. And the Galaxy's high-speed vehicles are here. Looks like Sebulba versus Anakin over there. And that's one of the other things that I want to go over here is the pod racers. You have Anakins, you have Sebulbas, you have Gasganos, and then you have, oh, there goes Quadanero's power coupler. Oh my, I wanted to say that for so long. This is what I was talking about this literally like a week ago, if y'all remember. This is actually the fastest pod that you can get in the Star Wars Pod Racer game. It had its own little battery. It was for the Game Boy Color, but it had its own little battery in there, so every time you crashed, you feel the burr. And again, so Anakin starts off as like one of like the slowest pods, but as you win races over and over, I think there was this Rooster character. The Rooster character had a really fast one, but when you got the pod, it was super fast, but its handling was like terrible. It was like a grade C, A being the best. So again, as you get upgrades and as you win, Anakin's pod can become the fastest. But even still, Ben Quadranero's like and that's like my favorite one. It was so good. It was so fun. And then obviously at the end, Anakin's becomes like the fastest. I think might be the exception of this one. I don't know. But I'm super glad they have this. I kind of wish they had Odie Mandrell. I really like that one. You can get a pit droid. Then you have Mos Espa. They have Mos Eisley. They don't. It's just Mos Espa. That's fine. That's fine. That's all we need there. The Mandalorian stuff. So I had a discussion with VeVe Meister this morning, where he said, I think Yoda sells out, or not Yoda, baby Yoda, Grogu. I think he sells out. I was like, listen, I know he's a super popular character, but 60,000 is a really big ask when it's just one character in a larger drop in a larger whole month of Star Wars. And he's like, oh, 60,000? I didn't think it'd be that much. I was like, no, I don't mean like 60,000 units. Like there's only going to be 3,000 of Grogu, but there's going to be $60,000 worth of it because it's $20 each. So let's do the actual math. So it's 50 that they're withholding. So it's actually going to be $59,380. So 60,000. Just do a quick rounding there. Now, be advised, you are going to be able to get Grogu in his little device there that kind of like attaches itself, that it follows Mando around. And that has 1,000 mints. And that's a secret rare. So even if you miss out, like this one's obviously going to sell out first. And then the other one will sell out as well. Well, the other one, I don't know if that'll sell out because again, there's 2 of them. And also, okay, it shows here's Din Djarin, and I guarantee you that they both say Din Djarin, first appearance, right? Okay, hold on. Cool Mo, gotta get you out of there. There you go. Din Djarin, and it says first appearance. Now, what do they have to say? I freaking knew it. Mandalorian, it's the same thing. So I really dislike how VeVe can say, hey, you know what? We're going to give you first appearance Daredevil. This is great. I love it. Now we're going to give you first appearance Matt Murdock. My guys, my brothers in Christ. First off, you make them freaking ginger, and then you like what? Why are they different? Well, they're different characters. Like they're the same freaking person. I wouldn't be as salty as them going and saying like, yeah, you know what? We have Mando in his upgraded Beskar armor, and then Din Djarin, who's Mandalorian, in his like crappier armor. They're both first appearances. I would not be salty about the Daredevil, the Din Djarin, and countless other examples of this if they were to give Steamboat Willie a first appearance as well. But they didn't. The precedent they set, where they have, double partner partner statue, double first appearance Mickey. No problem. We can all agree that's first appearance of Mickey on the blockchain. If you give first appearance Daredevil and also give first appearance Matt Murdock, and you give first appearance Mando and also give first appearance Din Djarin, there is no reason why you can't give first appearance Steamboat Willie. I will die on this hill. I'm sorry. I need to. Okay. VeVe, I love you. I've done more work for y'all than like any other influencer, but my God, man, something just has to be said. Okay. All right. I've crashed out for a minute there. I apologize. Yeah, I will never get over that. Either way, I know why they do this. Like I know, it's Din Djarin in his original armor, but then it's Mando, Din Djarin in his upgraded Beskar armor. They don't even have. Okay, no, they do. Okay, I thought they had the same ones. Din Djarin is iconic Beskar armor, standing tall as a symbol of resilience and honor, with a blaster firmly in hand. Intricate details of his helmet and armor reflect the journey as a lone warrior, protector, blah, 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 blah. And the secret rare just says, enhanced with an upgrade that showcases evolution as a skilled and resilient warrior. Let me show you this. Let's do a Naboo Starfighter, which is Naboo Fighter for short. We can all remember this from Phantom Menace, right? Right. That is a great one. How about Naboo Fighter from Mandalorian? Well, it's the same ship. They just stripped away the gold. And I know why Disney did that. Hey, we can take the same exact ship. We don't have to go in and design anything else. We don't have to do anything about the mechanics. It's the same exact ship, but it's just stripped of the yellow and gold paint. And they sold it as a new toy, and it did amazingly, and they made a bunch of money. So I understand why VeVe does this. But yeah, that's and yeah, two different collectibles. I think it might have worked in a different way, and I don't know if they've explored this idea of having Din Djarin with like next to no armor, but then you had all the other different types of armor that you could get, so you can kind of build whichever one of Din Djarin you want. Like, what's the point of getting Legos? It's like, oh yeah, like, well, you get the Lego because you want to have this awesome, Bowser piece or the Star Wars piece or the Death Star piece. Now you could just buy the finished product, but like half the fun is like building it. That's why you get Legos. You build it your way. You go in and you have it. I think that's the Burger King thing, like, or is it have it your way? And they already do this with like the Beskar ingots, ultra rare. Like, be like, hey, get some of these Beskar ingots and then build the Din Djarin you want. Build the Mandal if you want him as the lone, the solo guy, the loner there, or if you want him as like the upgraded version. I feel like just getting him as a base and then doing that would be a little more fun, maybe a little complicated. And again, I feel like I'm really crapping on this here. I'm really not. I guess I am a little bit. Just want to point out a couple things. Anyway, Grogu, this whole drop will probably make definitely 30,000+. I mean, again, just for the first group. Oh, actually, this secret rare is $70. Oh my god! Wait, that secret. I didn't realize that. Okay, that's $70. That is $67,830. Okay, that's probably gonna sell. Like, even if it doesn't, even if like 500 of like, there's gonna be five. Like, of course. That even if it's 500, that's still gonna be 30,000+ just from there. And yeah, that's gonna be really. I can't wait to see. They're gonna make so much freaking money. So the secret rare, but I feel like people are likely going to get, because $70 is a lot. So I feel like people are likely going to get this version of Grogu because he's not in his pod. You can kind of play with him in different ways. God, this whole thing might make. Yeah, it's gonna make a ton. This whole thing might make 70,000+. I mean, heck, it might make 100. I don't know. And I guess the secret rare one is also 70 for him. And you're gonna want to get them together, right? I mean, for me, I would get the secret rare Mando and the regular Grogu rare. This way, it's $90, and you get the two kind of side by side, like how, like, I think it's cuter when he walks next to him. But people are probably going to get the secret rare Grogu in general because it's 1,000 of them. It's still a first appearance, and yeah, it's 1,000 of them, first appearance. Yeah, God, this drop is going to make so much freaking money. When is this? May 10th. Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. I have a meeting that day, and I'm going to cancel it. Mando Grogu. I'm going to go live for this drop. I might not go live that Friday night. Maybe I will, but yeah, we're already 54 minutes on this, and I have so much more news to go over. Care about you. I don't care about you. Who are you? I always get curious when new people follow. I feel like a dog, like, sniff them. Got to check them out. Crypto dog. Okay, cool beans. Cool beans. Where was I? I forget where we were. Cool Mose, look at my avatar. Oh yeah, of course. We gotta love the kitties. Gotta love the kitties. Meow meow meow. Meow meow meow. Central Human says greetings and hello, Randy, and everyone. Press the like button if you can spare a moment. Yes, would super appreciate it. In fact, for you, I will meow 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 meow. If y'all can smash that like button, that is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Next out of you, go to you. Okay. Air Blue says, I think someone is manipulating the OMI tokens to keep it low. I hope so. I hope they manipulate it down way harder. Why would they do this? I don't know. Any suggestions, Randy? Get people frustrated, have them sell at super low prices, and then scoop it up cheap. That's why I would do it if I had the ability. My longs have been wrecked every time. I think it's hit the bottom. Again, we don't know where the bottom is. If you want to get cute and long, you absolutely can. I think only MEXC offers that. And longs can, but I think you can only, on MEXC, you can only long it like 500, or I'm sorry, like $500 at a time. But why would you even risk it for like the $500? Like just buy the normal OMI at that point. Let me see something here. I want to check something real quick. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, I wouldn't bother longing. I would just buy for me, I would just buy the OMI, but for you, if that's what you want to do, by all means. And yeah, I mean, you can see the longs, so someone could just try to be liquidating others, and that's a game that they play. That is a game that they play. Ace Rig moves. Good morning, right? Good morning, Ace Rig move. You got that bread. You go over and watch me all the time. Super appreciate it, even when you're a world away. Love that. Okay, let's do. We have so much other news to go over. Okay. All right, went over the MicroStrategy stuff. S&P records 8th consecutive day of gains, and that was yesterday. So today we had another gains again. So 9 consecutive days of gain. And again, I really want to drive the point home that a lot of people, including myself, had said like, hey, this first quarter had sucked. Ever since Trump took office and started this tariff war, markets have gone down. And that is a direct result of the tariffs. However, so is this upswing. So is this V-shaped recovery. That is also a direct result of us winning this tariff war. It was a gamble, calculated risk, and it seems to be paying off. People gave Trump credit for crashing it. Are they going to give him credit for it rebounding and going farther than it was before? No, they will not. I will, though. I will. I'm not going to lie. It was been a rough couple of months, but better now. Anyway, S&P had their 8th consecutive day of gains yesterday, 9th consecutive day of gains today. And Kraken revenue hit $472 million in Q1, marking a 19% year-over-year increase, boosted by the Trump-era volatility ahead of a planned IPO. Interesting. Apple says that tariffs will cost the company $900 million this quarter. Apple's been kind of screwing everyone forever, so heck 'em. Nameco says, "'Tis the season to be mint hunting, and you gotta love the gold 888 partner statue with the matching 888 Disney D. Congrats to him for that. Apple is going to source 19 billion chips for its devices in the United States. Very nice. Went over this, went over that. So it says, by the time your financial advisor says it's okay to buy Bitcoin, it'll cost $1 million. When they say it's a good idea, it'll be 10 million. Agreed. Start your engines. The most daredevil group of daffy drivers is back for a wild 21st century race. Penelope Pitstop, Peter Perfect, Dick Dastardly, and Muttley, all your wacky races faves returning this giant-sized turbocharged one-shot from Dynamite. From zany traps to high-octane hijinks, this comic is nostalgic thrill ride with a modern twist. Dynamite Comics Giant Size Wacky Races #1 is now available to read on VeVe Comics. I have never heard of any of this. Races aren't really my thing, but if you want it, go get them. VeVe Collectibles says, I just realized if I'm not a master collector, there's no way I can be even in the top 10. This is according to Andrew Arias, saying, I'm sure there's way more than 50 people who will grind this out till the end, though. Talking about the leaderboard. Let's go to the leaderboard. Let's see how they do. Oh, I'm level 72. Yay! A for asteroid. An asteroid destroyer. A for asteroid. An asteroid destroyer. Yay! All right, people have 120. 120 is the max points that you can get right now. People will stop messaging me. I have 14 points. So I'm really low on there, but people be having 120. Mr. Rolex, Schwabi, and Scary Sea Monster are the top 3. And the number 250 is Drifty with 90 points. But yeah, 120 is quite a lot. Let's show some more. There are 100 people that have 120 points, 112 actually. So I don't believe, I am not, nobody's winning that. China says it's assessing possible trade talks with the United States. I know they are. Elon Musk says the U.S. government was partying on taxpayer money, bro. That was wild. Taking U.S. Treasury money for stuff and then just partying with it. Absolutely insane. Yesterday, the Golden Dragon had for whatever reason, it wouldn't let me type in Gold Dragon yesterday. So I'll have the Jade Dragon. I'll have to go to the view details page. And then I'll have to go to their Imperial Lotus Dragon in the series. I'll see all. And then I'll get my way to the Golden Dragon. There's 888 of these things. It's this little guy. There we go. And the floor price is $275. And then it goes to $345. And then it goes to 88,000. So that's a lot. But that is what the floor is. China's Ministry of Commerce says Beijing is assessing the possibility of trade talks with the U.S. The source was Bloomberg. That is bullish for markets. VeVe Magic says, big news, I'm teaming up with official emoji for a brand new weekly show from Toontown to Tokyo. Each week we dive into a Disney or anime film, and it all kicks off with a review of Your Name, live premiere this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Me and VeVe Magic also have an announcement that we'll be making on Sunday. Comment down below what you think. What's the announcement, Chavez? What are you guys announcing? It's something fun. I think it's something really fun. I don't think it's anything that anyone would expect. But tune in on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and me and VeVe Magic will be having a joint announcement. Me and her, she and I. Can't wait. Must watch. The Doge team says that when they went into the U.S. Institute for Peace, they had loaded guns inside their headquarters trying to resist the Doge team. They were spending money on things like private jets and had a contract with the Taliban. Their chief accountant deleted over 1 terabyte of financial data over the past years, and the Doge team was able to recover it. They received $55 million a year from Congress, and any money that went unspent got swept into a private bank account, which had no congressional oversight, and used it to fund parties and a private jet. At Institute for Peace, Doge team says that they reported their findings to the FBI and the DOJ. It was by far the least peaceful agency we've ever dealt with. God damn. Funds that were supposed to be used to combat the Rona in the Department of Education were used to rent out Caesar's Palace for parties. That is insane. Metaplanet issues 3.6 billion yen in 0% bonds to buy more Bitcoin. They are unstoppable. Vincent Zerzolo, my main man, says Addiction number 3 is sold out. Thanks, VeVe Fan, for making the Addiction such a big success. We've got so much more in store for you. Clap it up. Clap it up. I'm Groot. Says 2 things to bring users to VeVe. Either incorporate gaming or find some way to give people the ability to make money. Unfortunately, money runs the world. You can't ignore that fact. Agreed. I mean, what do you think they're building? They're building a lot of things that, well, one, it's yes to make them money. But two, you just have to wait for it to become popular again. It will. Things go in cycles. You just have to wait for that cycle to come back. That could start to happen next month. Or it could start to happen in January of next year. We have no idea on probably sometime in between. But you're just going to have to wait for that. John Dingby saying there's a OMI wallet that has sold off more than 200,000 doll hairs. I bet there is dozens and probably 100 wallets that have done that. That's the name of the game. Buy and sell. Potential Human says Blackpink Diamond VeVe Heart logo has 15 total mints. Congrats to the holders. That is crazy special. That is a crazy special one. I know I drank water outside of the egg whites. I have to see. All right, what are my calories today, and what are my proteins? Give me 1 second here. Go to my notes. I've had 1,760 calories, 151 grams of protein. That was before I drank any egg whites. So even if I did, let's say, 10 servings of this, that would bring me up to 2,010 calories and 201 grams of protein. That's if I drank half of this, which I'm not there yet, but I will before the end of the stream. I will before the end of the night. Oh my God, we got Crypto Cosmo saying, "What up? What up, Crypto Cosmo? I love your profile picture there. Cameraman. Good friend. Okay, let's continue on, shall we? Let's shall. Apple announces it will manufacture iPhones in India. A big problem for China. Huge. Also, BlackRock has just bought $350 million worth of Bitcoin last night. Lapse in Level 4. Grayscale just bought almost $12 million worth of Ethereum, and that was Grayscale, and that was yesterday. The going rate for a first edition Rocket unopened, a sealed Rocket box, first edition Pokemon Rocket box. One was listed for $26,000. You might be able to find it for a couple thousand cheaper, but those things are hardcore. A base set Charizard foil pack, first edition, rated PSA 10, is listed at $7,500. And a first edition CGC 10 first edition Charizard is at $50,000. By taking a look here, well, I don't have the pictures of the back of it, but the front looks pretty good. So yeah, if you want to go in and try your luck and buy it and try to regrade it over at PSA, might be able to double your money, triple your money. Breaking says, at Crypto Real says, $2.8 billion worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum options have expired today. And it had gone over to, what was it? 97.9, I think. Yeah, it was 97.8 at one point, and now it's 96.6. So it had kind of a crazy day, but nothing. Honestly, the rest of the market is actually down today. Pretty flat, but down. Everything's in the red, but it's only like a couple of percent. It's nothing like a crazy day. It's not like a crazy horrible day. It's pretty flat, but just a little down. Bitcoin, Ash Crypto Real says Bitcoin dominance has just reached a new all-time high for the cycle. This means that once the money starts flowing from Bitcoin to Ethereum and alts, we will see a massive alt season like 2021. You have Raoul Paul saying the same thing. U.S. employment rate remains at 4.2%. You have Grumpy Cat over there saying, SHIRO says, send it. Ripple ups the bid per circle from $5 billion to $20 billion after initial offer is rejected, aiming to dominate the stablecoin market. Seems to make sense. I don't see anything wrong with that. All I want is everything. Too much is not enough. Sick of settling for. Microsoft was up like 2.5% today, of like almost $10 hairs. That was nuts. I went over this. I went over that. Getting rid of you for you. Okay. Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald negotiated 5% ownership stake in Tether. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Cantor, which holds most of Tether's $133 billion in reserves, negotiated a 5% ownership interest in the stablecoin issuer within the past year, according to the Wall Street Journal. Wild stuff. $3 trillion Goldman Sachs said that they are getting more involved in Bitcoin and crypto in general. Be advised that these are the same people that called Bitcoin a scam a few years ago. Anyone remember that? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Also, we just in Grand Theft Auto 6 is now delayed until May 26th. So it is delayed another year. How much you want to bet it gets delayed to 2027? We have been asking when GTA 6 for a decade now. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're clearly not working. I mean, they clearly are. They're clearly working, but bruh, like, my God, man. This is probably one of the most anticipated video games ever. These people are worse than Disney at trying to release Kingdom Hearts games. They're obviously going to include some type of crypto payments in there. Like it has to. There's no way it comes out and they don't include crypto payments on it. There's just no way. There's no way. Canadian Prime Minister Carney is going to meet Trump in the White House on Tuesday. Can't wait. Echo says Wacky Racer is a classic cartoon. I don't remember that at all. Dark Lava says 110 million OMI airdrop. Never. But you know, we can dream. Dark Lava says when GTA 6 comes out, it's a crypto bull run. Well, we're gonna have to wait a year for it, at least. We shall see. Devve Exchange has privacy and compliance on the blockchain. Yes, it's possible. At Devve Exchange, our patented on-chain privacy ensures regulatory compliance without compromising your privacy, just like in traditional banks and financial institutions. Secure assets, private transactions. The future of safe and compliant crypto trading is here. Link down below to the Devve Exchange. Use my link to sign up. We have Marvel Comics 1 News saying, bigger breaking news, Mr. Rolex's and VeVe NFT comics in beast mode. Whales scoop up low min MC1 after cleaning floors. MC1 uncommon have been brought up. None on the floor, literally zero as of early this morning. Saying, David, you were right. And MC common is down to 39 on the supply. And again, no uncommon as of early this morning at 8:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was about 11 and a half hours ago. Also, MC1 supply is down from 278 to 82. Mr. Rolex goes hard on MC1. The supply is the common was at 50. The uncommon was at 7. The rare was at 9. Ultra rare is at 5. And secret rare is 10. There's no one there. The ultra rare pops to 195 gems. And the secret rare has popped to 2,900 gems. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. Marvel Comics News says you're carrying some prestigious cargo of MC1. I hear Charlie NFT123. I believe he does. This guy named Audia saying, good morning, guys. I hope everyone's having a great day. Really excited about the tech that Devve offers. Long time ago, I saw something solid like this. Anyone have any information on approximately how many devs that's currently working on the project? Any GitHub? Dev response saying the actual number of devs I don't think has been publicly disclosed. Let's just say it's more than sufficient for the project. Please also note there isn't a public GitHub for Devve. This aligns with the project's focus on safeguarding its competitive advantages and meeting the strict requirements of enterprise and government partners. Devve is dedicated to integrating blockchain into real-world applications, which often involve sensitive business relationships and regulatory compliance. This approach prioritizes planning and due diligence, which limits the amount of open technical information shared on platforms like GitHub. Fidelity bought another $6.4 million worth of Ethereum. They have a lot of people buying that ETH. Jeff Bezos is going to sell $5 billion in Amazon stock. What is he going to buy with it? Many say Bitcoin, but we'll see. What is this here? We got a lot of stuff to go over still today, so I will go over this. But first, I will get to the last comment. Karn's a big Ripple guy. Interesting. Didn't know that. Bunch of delistings happened. We did have a bunch of delistings happen. A lot of people's vaults went up because of those delistings. What are how's that affected the buying? I don't know. Well, we shall see. We shall see in the future. Okay, let's get to this fair valuation of certain tokens. Okay, we've got a guy named Link0x saying many people hesitant about meme coins reaching billions or even the $100 billion dream target. One, people have forgotten that the majority of retail, even with good degrees and high IQ, think that a token with $0.0001 is cheaper than another that is 10 cents. They don't understand market cap. Market cap isn't real. Liquidity is. To the extreme, you could create a coin, hold all the supply, have $10 in liquidity, and say it's worth $1 trillion if you wanted. A token with 100 billion doesn't mean there's $100 billion of real capital. There might only be 50 million of liquidity, out of which only 25 million is exit liquidity in ETH and Sol. 100 billion is just paper money. It doesn't exist. It's all a fugazi. That means that 10 million in net buying pressure, which isn't much, can move a market cap by $20 billion, for example. Tokens are momentum-based assets, and memes take it to the extreme. You can see that there is something ranging for months and then pop 100x in 1 month. Fair valuations don't exist, and no one can really put a ceiling, especially in peak mania. People just FOMO, and as it goes higher, reflexivity kicks in. Regardless of price and valuations, the 100x dream will never die. People wonder how something keeps going up. It's just a function of the aforementioned points, but they don't know that, and it makes them believable. It is something, oh God, sorry. Goes higher, It's just a function of the aforementioned points, but they don't know, and that makes them believe that it is something bigger than them, bigger than the market, and everyone chases. Also, contrary to rationality, the higher the price goes, the more comfy it makes you feel. The reality is that the R&R gets worse and worse, but only good traders apply that. Discussions about 100 billion target is extreme top market behavior. I don't think there's enough liquidity in the market, nor the irrationality to materialize. Instead, we're going to keep that 1 billion target for some time. But I do believe that at some point in the next months, or maybe years, when everything aligns, we'll see some stupid valuations on memes. But it won't be due to a new paradigm. It'll just be the function of liquidity, new market entrants with low IQ, and extreme momentum and reflexivity fueled by greed, jealousy, and social media. It's all a fugazi. Make the most out of it and don't get distracted. What I really like about this guy is he mentions that people tend to think that a token that has 8 zeros in front of it is cheaper than a token that could be, worth $1, because people don't recognize market cap. So take a look at OMI, shall we? And let's take a look at OMI on just a couple of places that people can buy. Now, if you're outside the US, you can use Gate.io, you can use MEXC, you can use a couple of different places. But if you take a look at OMI, let's say on base, that's what everyone likes to talk about, right? The OMI token on base has less than $250,000 in liquidity. It is not going to take much for this to pump. Again, on base, is this on base or is this on E? Oh, no, Uniswap V3 base. It has less than $250,000 in liquidity. Now let's take a look at OMI on ETH, and it has 35,000 in liquidity. My guys, so you're saying that between the OMI token on base on Uniswap and the OMI token on ETH on Uniswap, that there's barely over $250,000 in liquidity? Guys, this is going to rocket like one of Elon Musk's rockets when the narrative takes hold. There is no freaking liquidity on this. This is massive. Let me put it to you again. Oh, my man. Oh yeah, I got I'm live right now. Right now. Going over some great news actually. Can I call you when I'm done? Meow, meow, meow. Yeah. So guys, again, just the OMI on Ethereum on Uniswap, 35,000 in liquidity. And let's see if there's any other. I'm sure there is. Let's go to OMI on CoinGecko here real quick, and then we'll take a look at where other ones we have here. The base. Okay, Uniswap. Okay, these are both base. And then Uniswap v4 on Ethereum. No, it's not letting me. Spread, depth, volume, last update, trust score. Yeah, this is not. Ugh. Now, obviously, there's going to be more liquidity on OKX, MEXC, Gate.io, Bitmart, Ascendex, etc. I don't even know what BVox is, but apparently we're on there. And there was $8,000 in volume being done on there. I'm saying it's for Americans. It is very hard to buy because there's so little liquidity. On the opposite end of that, again, let's do OMI on base. $218,000 worth of liquidity for a $53 million market cap. Let's go to daCAT token. daCAT token has almost as much liquidity than OMI has. That is fucking ridiculous. And now I know this is just like a Uniswap thing. This is just like Coinbase Wallet. You can buy it with an aggregator. But yeah, they need to fix that. I mean, if they don't, let's play out these dominoes. If the VeVe and a Comey company decide that it's okay for them to have, I forget what it was. I'm so flabbergasted by this. If the VeVe and a Comey companies decide that $218,000 of liquidity is fine, that is $13,000 more than daCAT. Again, daCAT token has a market cap of $742,000, and they have a $205,000 locked liquidity. OMI on base has a $53 million market cap and just barely above what daCAT has for liquidity. Guys, that is going to Shrek-splode if the narrative comes before we're on like a Coinbase or like a Kraken or KuCoin or anything that Americans can use. Oh my God, that's gonna like 10x, like overnight. That is stupid. Okay, cool. I'll call him later. Maybe that's what they want to happen. Maybe they say, yeah, we'll have this little liquidity in there because it'll make it easier for it to moon. And again, daCAT's liquidity is locked. That is a renounced token address. Like that is locked. That cannot be wrong. That cannot be taken away. Only on base, that can be taken away by whoever put it there, whether it be Dr. Profit or yeah. That is wild. That is wild and crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. So Jesus, man. And there's 82,000 in volume on base. Let's do OMI on ETH, and there's 24,000 in volume there. So Jesus. Okay, all right. Let's go on here. Galate says, when David said something in May is a world's first, and he was mind blown. Is that referring to Stormtrooper Mask Anatomy? Probably. I mean, that is a first. So yeah, it's a first. We'll all be overthrown sooner or later. We are. Yeah, that is a first. Is that the first that David was talking about? I have no idea. I know, but we'll see. Anyway, we have a lot more news to get to. Let's get that spread. I love this game. Okay. China quietly exempts tariffs on $40 billion worth of U.S. goods, Bloomberg reports. Chef's kiss. absolute chef's kiss. So when Mr. MC1 was talking about the MC1s that were, being bought up, Wes says, yeah, isn't this just a repeating pattern? Floors get swept and then sellers slowly trickle it down, lowering the floor again, then repeat. Mr. MC1 says, well, until they get done, I have 1,000 of them, and every time I sweep, not one sees daylight. Mr. Squibb says, precisely, until they don't. And Wes says, even with 60,000 additions? Mr. MC1 says, that's the beauty of this thing, 60,000 additions with 48,000 commons. Yet market supply for 3 years, even in a down market, has not been above 1 to 300, which is 0.2 to 0.5% of the supply. One of life's mysteries, perhaps you can solve. App Store, yeah. Oh God, concerning. Oh God, my body. Ugh. Okay, sorry. It was a little warm, or it was a little cold. Oh God, I'm sorry. It was warm and now it's cold. Let's keep going, shall we? Let's shall. Fed will cut rates in May or June, as per Ash Crypto Real. The sooner the better. The sooner the better. But we'll see. Senator Cynthia Lummis says that passing the Bitcoin Act is the only solution to our nation's $36 trillion debt. Senator Cynthia Lummis says President Trump supports her bill to purchase 1 million Bitcoin. Can't wait for that. Oh, right. China offers to address the U.S. fentanyl concerns to revive trade talks. My man. Trump just keeps winning. Okay, I have a lot of stuff that... Oh, shoot. Okay, a lot of stuff that I've done now. Let me just take a look at this real quick. Okay. Let us do everyone's favorite part of the evening, and let us go to X and see what everyone's talking about. Oh, Ken Gwynn, my man. Why fans are the future of film financing. You have Kendrick Gwynn saying, I invested in Robert Rodriguez's brass knuckle films during a family road trip. We listened to the Joe Rogan Experience featuring Robert Rodriguez. The storytelling was nothing short of electrifying. Tales of gritty filmmaking, creative hustle, and building something authentic from the ground up with brass knuckle films. But most impressive was the stories of working with his kids. Absolutely loved those. I wasn't just inspired, I was hooked. Rodriguez's vision, paired with his track record of defying odds, made investing in his company feel like joining a renegade team of storytellers. I wanted in, not just for the potential returns, but to be part of a crew pushing boundaries in film, just like he described. That was when, somewhere in the middle of Texas, my husband and I, and my sister and her husband, immediately invested. That is so freaking cool. Ken Gwynn is a buddy of mine. He's been on the podcast before. He's not a part of Whale. He hasn't been part of Whale Week yet. He has been a part of a couple of Whale dinners though. He's just a chill dude. Awesome story. Let's get him back on the. Ken Gwynn is the CEO of Republic. He's got about $1 billion in assets under management. He has VeVe. He has OMI, and like I said, it's a good dude. I should get him back on the podcast again. And you have Bowza underneath him saying, it's kind of sad looking back at my Web3 journey and not seeing some of the people I hustled or grew up with no longer in the space. This just confirms the reality of crypto, and the majority of people here are in it for the money. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But if only they had been more open to other perspectives, relationships, networking, etc., they'd probably just get more out of this space. Guy named Juju says, I feel you on this. The sad truth is not everyone values relationships, and you can observe this from the simple interactions with people out here, even some founders. But anyway, the real ones would always remain to build and connect, regardless if they've made millions or not. Bowza says, personally, this is why keeping a tight-knit circle of friends is so important in Web3. You can't trust everyone you meet off the bat because you don't know their true intentions. I think keeping a tight-knit circle of friends is super important in general, but especially in Web3. Like, I got to tell you guys, I know there's like not 186 people here. It's not a ton. For people that have, I think my favorite memory of this was at VeVe Zombie. I was at San Diego last year. He was staying at my place. Well, not the place that I rent. I don't have a house over there. There's a place I rented for the week. And we were just broing out, talking, chatting with everyone. And he said, like, bro, you're like exactly like you are in videos. And I was like, what are you expecting? And so I've always been very, very lucky that I've just had a lot of friends, and my weirdness was received as charismatic and all that jazz. And for that, like I a lot of times gave up a lot of my time and my very limited free time for them. And I've had this issue for like ever. Like, hey man, like, we haven't hung out in a while. When can I see you? It's like, I know, like I just and it's like first world problem. You just have so many people that are friendly towards you and want to be your friend. It's like sometimes you have to choose, like, to see this person 3 times in a month versus this person once or never. And then it gets to the point where it's very unfortunate because even the ones that don't really add a ton to your life that are just still good people, you still want to see, and you make time. But um you could have someone that's not a bad person, but maybe they just kind of suck the energy out of the room. They suck, and I'm not saying to like abandon anyone, but my circle has gotten my inner circle has gotten a lot smaller as I've gotten older. Just because priorities change. And don't get me, I love hanging out and playing Super Smash Brothers. I love playing Mario Kart, playing video games, just shooting the shit with friends. I love doing all that stuff. But it's like, and you get to do that every now and then. But if we're not learning, if we're not getting better, like there's a speech that it's not even a speech. It's a line that Piccolo says to Goku after 3 years of training for the androids. Piccolo says, like, I wish we had more time. I could have gotten faster. I could have gotten stronger. And Goku's like, we did all we could do. And they spent the entirety of that time, him, Goku, and Gohan, just training, just getting better. And I'm sure they had their rest days. I mean, I think they like drove a car one day. Remember that episode? Hated that episode. It's a classic now. But relationship, like, you have to choose, like, okay, is what you guys are doing, is it making you better? Is it going towards your goals? And I think a lot of guys have this issue as well of like tending to overwork and tending to do that. But don't get me wrong, like I work hard, but damn it if I don't play hard as well. It's just, hey, do you want to sit and play video games every day? And yeah, sure, love that stuff. But do you want to, like, is it good for you to sit and play video games with boys like every day? No, it is not. So you just have to decide, like, hey, I would love to do this, but doing this other thing that might not be as fun immediately is better for me. And even if it's kind of painful at first, like the relationships that you could build with people, it just super important. Yeah, I didn't think I'd get here. This is wild. Anywho, let's keep going, shall we? Out of the top 10 crypto, which would you buy today? Probably ETH, ETH or Bitcoin. Let's take a look at it. Bitcoin's 96.5. All right, let's do some math here. Let's say Bitcoin does a 3x, right? And it gets to 180, I'm sorry, and it gets to 288. It's a 3x. 288 is a lot. It might, even if it doubles, getting to 192 is a lot. Super safe. But I think Ethereum going from 1833, let's round it up to 2K, right? Going up to 8,000, probably okay. It's rounded down to 1,800. Okay, it goes to 5,400. That's a pretty solid 3x, and I'm pretty sure it does that. I think it's easier for Ethereum to do a 3x than it is for Bitcoin to do a 2x. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's probably easier for Bitcoin to do a 3x than it is for Bitcoin to do a 2x. So just out of that, I'd probably do ETH. XRP is at $2.20. What's their market cap? 128 billion. Yeah, that can go to half $500 billion. 2.4, then it'd be 4.2. I'm sorry, 2.4, 3. Let's say 130 billion. Oh yeah, so it'd be 4.9. If that gets to $500 billion, yeah, it's a 3x. BNB, it's actually at 87 billion. Solana's at 76. I don't really like that. Maybe Cardano, because Cardano's at a $25 billion market cap. And for that to just go to 100 billion, that's a 4x. But I honestly, Cardano might be that play because its market cap is so low compared to everyone else's. Like the top 7, which includes USDC and USDT, is 61 billion. Then you have a large drop off for Dogecoin at 27 billion, and then Cardano at 25. And Doge, it's a meme coin at the end of the day. So I would, out of the top 10, probably Cardano now that I'm looking at it, because the market cap is so low compared to everyone else's. So that's probably, and so is Tron's at like 23.5, but I don't really know a lot about Tron. I don't know anyone that's like on the Tron train. Like, yo, Tron, you got to sell everything, invest in Tron. Like, I don't know any one of those Tron fanboys. I don't even know if they're out there. I've never met one. But I know plenty of Cardano fanboys. I know plenty of Cardano maxis. So I would say Cardano is probably the easiest ROI, or your best bet for a higher ROI. It's still safe. It's still in the top 10. And it's a high ROI. So that's what I would do, but that's just me. Other people would be like, nah, just Bitcoin is the safest out there. Safe, and yeah, you're right, safest play. But you're on ETH and Doge. Again, ETH is, I would buy ETH over Bitcoin because of the fact that it's easier for it to get a 3x and Bitcoin for a 2x. And I think Ethereum can do a 4x. It's been held down for like way too long. And then Doge, I just don't really do memes. So and it's all like the best meme out there, $27 billion market cap. If I had the choice between Doge and Cardano, like Cardano all day. Doggo Dango just bought some more daCAT. Now I have more than Grumpy. Wait, really? Wait, you have more daCAT than Grumpy? Because Grumpy's got a lot of. You did. Yeah, you bought a. I see $1,000 buy and I see a $1,800 buy. You did it, homie. Oh damn, you got a lot of daCAT there. Yeah, you do. Oh my god. Hats off to you, my man. Oh my god. Let me take a picture of this. Hold on. Let me get the. I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling all right. Maybe I'ma have the best. Oh my god, like, what are y'all doing in this group chat? There's 50 messages here. Keep asking. Okay, chat. Oh wow, there's so many messages. All right, hold on. Wow, looking all for the games to play on Roblox. All right, damn, you did it. Soon we be dancing, we be burning, not concerning what nobody gonna say. We Grumpy X is wild. So we keep going. They're inspired. Got FOMO. Just no liquidity. Yeah, people got FOMO everywhere here. Keep it up, bro. New top wallet is exciting. Will there be some counter punches thrown? He hits again. Oh my god. What a mad lad. What a mad lad. There was a game called International Superstar Soccer 64 that was on the Nintendo 64. And the announcer is a British announcer. He would call people crackers. Someone would just like do this miraculous play, like, what a cracker! And I was like, what? That guy is wild. That's real well, yeah. Yeah, what a mad lad. Dudes be going wild. Wild. I don't know what Grumpy's got to say. Grumpy's all angry that he's got more than him now. Doggo Dango. You got Grumpy all angry because you have more than him. That's amazing. John Davis has always been a meme to us this past year. Yeah. There's been some times where OMI has acted like, yeah, the token's just been on a horrible track. So there was a buddy of mine that messaged me today. Where is it? I might even have it on a screenshot. He says, "Do you think OMI and VeVe are going to find their way and actually really go up and right at some point? I know you believed in it. I know you've invested a lot in believing in it. I'm asking, do you believe it because it seems like they get incredible news and the price still falls off a cliff? Like it's now in the 1.9s. Is it just a great idea and they're just never going to get it together? Seems like a giant yawn. So I go in and I say, listen, most tokens are down. Sorry, I had a booger. I say most tokens are down because of the bear market and tariff war. I like dollar cost averaging at cheaper prices. Most people would be celebrating and buying OMI when it does a 5x and goes back to 001. But that's not the time to buy. I mean, you could still buy there. So those that buy down here will have already done a 5x by that time. And since I won't sell at 001, that price doesn't excite me. My hope is that OMI gets cut in half while Devve runs, and then I'll pick up a billion OMI. Unfortunately, VeVe has been crushing it with deliverables, and the price likely won't go down there. So maybe I only get to 500 million OMI, which is fine. At some point, let me read the rest of this here. Incredible news. Yeah. At some point, the selling will stop. At some point, you will have that seller's exhaustion and they'll just run out. When is that going to be? Again, if you want to talk super negative here, as this altcoin season takes place, yeah, OMI's probably not going to be the first alt that runs. There's going to be several other ones that likely run first. And then what happens? You have people that will get severe FOMO. Alt season is here. I got to go chase that. And maybe they just sell a little bit of OMI. You know, they had to get it at that price. You know, it did a 5x, did a 10x. I got to sell a little bit. And then another one runs, and another, and another. And people are getting 8 and 10, 20 X's all the time. I was like, bro, OMI is a shit coin. It's not doing anything. I got to sell out now. And like they're missing the bull run. The alt season is here and OMI's doing nothing. And they get rid of it. And they chase those green candles. And at some point, OMI will have its turn. And it could be the first. It could happen in the next month or two. Or it could not happen until Q1 of next year. Like there's no way of knowing. And I've seen it time and time again. People go in and they sell stuff that's down. They lock in those losses, and they go in and they buy what's high. And sometimes when they buy something that's high, it goes higher, and they do another 2 or 3x or whatever. But a lot of times they buy something at the top, and then, like I know a couple people that like sold their house and everything they own to buy in at Illuvium at like $1,900, and it is $15. They sold like everything that they own, like including their house, to buy Illuvium at $1,900, and it is $15 now. So, and I'm not saying that Illuvium's like a bad company. That's a AAA game. People will play it. It will rise again. Will it get to the $1,900? Probably not. But does it go to, I don't know, $1,000 again? Yeah, I think it probably could. I mean, 100x is actually at 1,500, so it might even go to 1,900. You know, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on OMI here. It's kind of crazy that VeVe secondary market sells a collectible per minute. Do they? I guess I guess they do. Yeah. And so much news to talk about per week. There was a buddy of mine, I mean, there's a buddy of mine today. Like, he literally just texted like 20 minutes ago. I was like, I'll read the message. Fuck. Where are we? It says, hey, I haven't been following OMI or VeVe recently. Any news of note, positive or negative? And I talked to him on March 1st recently, and he's been very negative on VeVe and OMI for quite some time, which, again, I understand, because despite what they do, bleeding users and the bleeding token price. So, like, I get it. But it's the same arguments that I saw at Tesla in 2018, 2019, 2020. It's like, they're not profitable. They're a car company that's way overvalued, and they're not profitable. The CEO is bipolar, and the cars blow up, and electric cars just like aren't cool. And it's like, okay, well, who determines what's cool or not? This like 50-something-year-old analyst on CNBC that, like, I'm sure he knows what's cool. Or is it like kind of young people that have a little bit of money to spend? I mean, like, let's go with like I mean, Metallica is always cool. But let's go with Simple Plan's always cool too. So is Green Day. Um, back in the day, let's say like honestly, all these bands are so cool now. I forget who sings the song, but it's an oldie, like "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play your song for me." That was like "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man." It's a song by the Byrds, and I love the Byrds. Came out in 1965, and when some older adults um, that used to play that song all the time around me in the 90s, that was old as shit, and it was slow, and it was and like I get the song now. It's like, okay, whatever, but not the best of the Bird songs, but it just like that wasn't cool. Like when you're a teenager in 2000, like, "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man" was not a cool song in 2005. So what is cool? I mean, what's cool is really determined by the youth. Like, how many like 60-year-olds know who Sabrina Carpenter is? Probably like very few of them, and she's one of like the coolest people out there right now because the youth love her. Lady Gaga in 2000, Lady Gaga in like 2010, 2011, coolest person on the planet, right? And old people are like, what is this? They don't get it. Like, I remember watching it was a channel called the Fine Bros. This is like 10 years ago now. And they had a channel just called like React, like just people reacting to stuff. Yeah, they had teens react, they had YouTubers react, just normal people react. And they had a segment called Elders React. And on one show, like they would just show older people, usually stuff that was happening like with video games and new stuff. But on this one episode, they had elders react to Elvis. And all of them they're suddenly 25 years old again, and they're dancing and they're singing and they're just emotional, because they show them videos of this stuff, and every single one of them said like, "Oh, my parents hated him, like everything bad that I did they blamed on Elvis, and hell, the world was going to hell in a handbasket because of Elvis's music. It wasn't real music." And it's like so tame compared to that, right? So when I see, I know it went off on this crazy tangent, I apologize. But when I see like these like 50-plus-year-old analysts, again, this is like half a decade ago. This is in like 2018 to 2020. They're like, "Oh, Tesla's not cool." Like, and you know what's cool, Mr. Analyst on CNBC that has been horribly reviewing Tesla. So it's the same arguments that I've heard with VeVe and OMI, which again, it's a lot of sentiment. It's a lot of, "Hey, I bought up here, and the prices are down here. What the fudge?" I get it, and okay, what has the company done that justifies the price going that low? It's like, okay, well, they said that we would get a certain amount of exchanges, and now we don't have any. It's like, okay, so your argument is us not having exchanges that the average Joe six pack can use, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's do this thought experiment. What happens if they go on, let's say, like a Coinbase, right? And again, there's been an argument for months or years. What happens if they go on Coinbase right now? Let's say it's like February of this year, 2025, just a few months ago. What happens if they go on Coinbase? Makes it easier for people to buy. Okay. Now, if people wanted to, most people, you can get a Coinbase, right? Like that's just what you have, and like, yeah, like everyone can get a Coinbase. Okay. You go over there on this website, Coinbase.com, on this app, and you have to do KYC, right? You upload your ID, which not a lot of old people want, but you upload your ID, answer all these questions. A little bit of a pain, especially for an older person, but they do it. And you deposit money in, and then you just, you convert that money to USDC or Ethereum, and then you buy OMI on that, right? So, okay, so if they're already spending money to buy Ethereum, then that's most of the process. They could just take that money. They could just take that Ethereum. All they have to do is open a Coinbase wallet. And all you need to do is do a thumbprint, or you can write down 12 words, whatever you want to do, whatever you think is more secure. And you have this address here. It's a really long, complicated number. That's your Ethereum wallet. Okay, well, how do I explain it to them, like what an Ethereum wallet is? You don't need to. It's just a little thing that says Ethereum, and you copy that address. Okay, well, how do I? And again, if you have to explain to like a 6-year-old how to copy an address, okay, maybe it is too complicated for them, and just don't even buy OMI. Just buy Flow on Coinbase at this point. But I think it's pretty easy just to, like, if you know what you're doing, you copy an address. Like I assume a lot of old people text. They copy something and they paste it. You copy that address. You go to send your Ethereum. You paste that in there, and you send it. And then what you have to do is you have that Ethereum after 1 or 2 minutes in there. It's unlike a bank that takes like a day. You have to have it after a couple of minutes, and then you go in and you say, okay, now what do I do? You see the swap button at the top? You hit swap. You use your Ethereum and you type in OMI, and you swap it, and that's it. Now, I know I threw a lot of that out there for like a 70, 80-year-old, whatever, or people that aren't good with tech. But even if they wanted to, like, how many people are buying right now? Not a lot. The volume speaks for it. So if you do that thought experiment of we get OMI on Coinbase and it's easier for people to buy, like, how many people are going to start buying on Coinbase just because it's on Coinbase? We were on like one of the top 20 biggest exchanges, and we got delisted off of there because nobody was buying. So there's no, I don't think it would have been a good idea to list on Coinbase, because you list in a bear market, you have a little bit of a pump and dump. If you list in a bull market, when people's eyes are on there, then they rush to it. Then you get a big pump, and it sustains. So for somebody that, and again, there's a lot of people that will go in and say, hey, they could do, like, VeVe is not doing anything that justifies the price of OMI going down like it's gone down. Everyone's had if they've had a business, they have an ex-disgruntled employee. This one, slapped VeVe with a couple of lawsuits that were frivolous, and the ruling on that lawsuit should come out in May. It should come out this month. So we'll see. But I think the token price has been punished in a way that it didn't deserve. I understand bear markets, but in this bear market, you have OMI with a 99.99% rate of more utility than any other token out there, and a community that's still pretty thriving, attached to a business that is the leader in their space, that is a titan in their arena. The OMI price should not be down here. It is stupid undervalued. But again, that being said, I hope it goes lower. Bill Gardner says, "What up? Yeah, what up, Bill Gardner? How's it going, fam? All right. Let's keep on going here. Keep on going on X. I've barely gone past. All right, let's go to my people who I'm following. Maranawful says, just in, FinCEN labels Hoini Group a major money laundering threat and 4 billion crypto scams and NK heist. North Korea heist? Damn. Hesty.base says, good night to all the bros that say good night. Tomorrow is a new day, so I'll say good night from the OMI homies. Yeah. That is an ad. Pixel Trader says, hey, hear me out. And then he posts the gold Mando and Grogu. That's great. Six Flags America closing. The final drop comes in November. After 25 years of summer screams, Six Flags in Bowie, Maryland will shutter on November 2nd, ending the ride for DC's so-called thrill capital. Corporate HQ says it's not a strategic fit anymore. Translation profit slumped, priority shifted. Damn, Daniel. Great job. Yeah, these look great. Eckle Swoosh says, great job, VeVe Official and Star Wars, because these collectibles look amazing. Oh, horror near Yellowstone. Tour van crash kills 7 in fiery collision. Oh, man. 7 people died in a devastating crash just outside Yellowstone National Park after a tour van collided with a Dodge Ram pickup. Ripping pasta. When I say horror near Yellowstone and I see like fire, I was like, oh my God, is Yellowstone erupting? But it wasn't. They need to put New York fighters on this card. Oh no, Ryan Garcia. Rip. IP available on VeVe Official. Yeah, Clever Jerk. Dude, Clever Jerk is so freaking. I freaking love this, man. Criplo says, oh, this is a beautiful breakout. Steady climb, no gimmicks, just pressure building till the chart had no choice but to snap upward. This is daCAT. This is what happens when the foundation's real and the echoes get loud. Zoom out if you're confused. This is just the beginning. Love that. Love it. Meow, meow. Give him a meow. Love it when my peeps post about daCAT. We got a couple of things that's going on live. We got Tasha, that is having a Star Wars live talk and casual TV. It's a happy hour hangout, 21 plus stories and laughs. Oh, there's this DCBK2LA posting up a sign that says he hates cats. How rude. Eddie Brown says, new to Star Wars digital collectibles, guide plus top drops plus where to start, all here. Shout out to him, Eddie Brown, for always repping the VeVe. Gotta love that. Oh my God. These incels are crazy. Germany's consensus illusion: when democracy gets too polite to function. Germany's mainstream parties aren't killing populism, they're fertilizing it. Christian Democratic Union and Social Democratic Party, former giants of center-right and center-left politics, now hobble along in awkward coalitions, mistaking exhaustion for statesmanship. CDU leader Friedrich Merz vowed tight wallets, then handed out billions like party favors. Goddamn. Rough. Toilet. There's something. A toilet is now all right. So somebody had talked about toilet is now listed on a coin market cap. Let's take a look at what toilet is. But first, I just want to take another look at my beautiful, beautiful daCAT. Ah, looks great there. Okay, now let's look at $ toilet. Okay, there's toilet on Sui. Toilet dust. All right, so it's toilet dust, I guess. There's golden toilet fart dust, but that has like no market cap. All right, so it is a $1.4 million market cap, and it is down 26% today. It is 1 month old, and it is down 26% today. It was, oh my God, this was sniped up at the beginning like a mother flapper. And over the last couple of days, it's had a decent pump, and it's gone back down. $1.4 million market cap, 85,000 in liquidity. I'm not really seeing anything positive about this. I'm probably just a meme coin, but that is what people on crypto Twitter are talking about. Trump admin sanctions chief heads to Brazil. Supreme Court justice in crosshairs. State Department Sanctions Coordinator David Gamble arrives in Brazil on Monday to discuss potential punishments against Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, whom Trump officials view as promoting censorship and political persecution. Oh, damn. You have a parody? Okay, I'm not going to do that. Oh, we have Tom Bibian saying, thank God it's Friday. Shill us your goods. Should I go out and shill? I think I shall. I'm going to go out and shill. You guys will hear me shill. I'm going to go start listening. Oh, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people here. What are they talking about?
Pulling up here on stage. Want to thank Bradley Gillen from the Boosters for joining us as well. Hazel.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's 11 people speaking. I'm not going to be able to go up for a while, so I will X out of there. Sorry for getting y'all's hopes up that you're going to catch me live on a shill space. But what I'll do right now is I'll go in and ask everyone to smash that like button. Free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing the super thanks button down below. Ooh, statement ready. Ooh. Oh, wow. Now everyone's oh, Grumpy. We love you, Grumpy. I don't know. Friendly competition never hurts. I just play, support anyone solid. Friend Randy Blue coming to daCAT. Whenever someone passes me, I pass them right back. Reciprocal tariff might be in order. Get him. Oh, no one will ever forget him. Oh, damn, why'd Eric leave? Eric, why'd you leave, boy? Girl? Okay. All right, let's keep going here on the X. Marinov says, on the ground, ISS National. I don't need to go over that. Cougar Shadow. Ooh, a phenomenon known as the Cougar Shadow emerges in Arizona's Superstition Mountain. It only appears twice a year. Ho, 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 ho. Generational run. What? Wait, what? All right, guys. So I'm going to be doing a Kickstarter for physical daCAT comics. When we get like 30 of the pages like done on the first daCAT comic, that'll obviously release on VeVe either way. But for the physical comic, we're going to go in and try to do like a Kickstarter and raise however much, and we'll give a lot out to peeps. We'll definitely give a lot out to peeps. I'm pooped. I'm glad you're pooped. He was savage, straight savage. So I'll let you know when that is. That is ridiculous. Okay. I comment on Ken Gwyn stuff before. Phil Nice says thanks for the airdrop. Thanks for the airdrop for all of the secret rares that he got. Good for Phil Nice. Gary Black says technology, unsupervised autonomy will be achieved by a handful of manufacturers. Only Uber has a platform and infrastructure to scale it. What? That is the worst take that I have ever seen. And that's saying a lot. I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a... Chris Antonelli says, happy Friday, friends. Sunshine and a fire, anyone? Yeah. Come play on my podcast soon. I feel like I give. Tulsi Gabbard to Special Forces saying, Trump's not micromanaging, he's empowering us. At Camp McEldy and I, Gabbard told Special Forces operators the commanders-in-chief isn't hovering, he's handing over the reins. He empowers us to lead, make decisions, solve problems, and deliver results. In other words, this White House isn't into babysitting, it's into battlefield trust. War room to war zones, decisions aren't made by committee, they're made by warriors. Ooh, that was good. That was good. I think she kind of stole that a little bit from Nick Fury. Like, it's won by soldiers. And then, going to Captain America. Oh, that's so good. I gotta go see what is that movie? That new Marvel movie that just came out. I'm thinking Expendables. It's obviously not Expendables. Marvel movie. Florence Pugh. Thunderbolts. Okay, there it is. Yeah. I definitely want to go see Thunderbolts. Guys, we've been at it for 2 hours here. There's still quite a bit to go over. We'll go over it tomorrow, and then tomorrow we're gonna have a couple of special appearances. I'll keep you all posted on that. On the special appearances. Bill Gardner, my bae. So much news. I do have to call a friend back, and then I have to get back to writing this comic. I have another stuff to do. I will catch y'all on the flip side. What should the outro song be? Oh, so much for my happy ending. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you all. Class dismissed. You were everything that I wanted. We were meant to be, supposed to be, but we lost it. All of my memories.